Lady Eleanor stares out the window. Her lady-in-waiting, Agnes, 40s, sits across from her. Agnes, we arrive, my lady. Remember what your mother taught you. Speak little, smile often, and show no fear. Eleanor, softly. But I am afraid, Agnes. Agnes, all brides are afraid. But you are to be Queen of Thornwall. Steel yourself. Int. Castle Great Hall later. Eleanor stands before King Richard, 40s, imposing on his throne. Court nobles whisper among themselves. King Richard, Lady Eleanor of Westmere. At last we meet. Your portrait did not do you justice. Eleanor, curtsying. Your Majesty honors me. King Richard, the alliance between our kingdoms will be sealed with our marriage in 3 days' time. Until then, you shall be attended to by my royal physician and the Queen Mother. Eleanor's face betrays momentary panic. Int. Eleanor's chambers, evening. Eleanor paces nervously as Agnes unpacks her belongings. Eleanor, they speak of tests, Agnes. My sister-in-law told me terrible things before I left home. Agnes, carefully. It is custom, my lady. All royal brides must prove their purity. Eleanor, but I am pure. Must I be humiliated to prove what is true? A knock at the door. Agnes opens it to reveal Queen Mother Catherine, 60s, stern and regal, with midwife Martha, 50s, and 2 other ladies-in-waiting. Queen Mother Catherine, Lady Eleanor, I trust your journey was pleasant. I am Queen Mother Catherine. Eleanor, curtsying. Your Grace. Queen Mother Catherine, the kingdom awaits an heir. Before you wed my son, we must confirm your suitability. It is tradition. Eleanor pales, but stands straight. Eleanor, I understand, your Grace. Int. Castle Corridor, night. Eleanor walks with her lady-in-waiting Agnes down a torchlit hallway. Eleanor, whispering. My mother never spoke of this. She only said to be obedient and give the king's sons. Agnes, it has always been thus, my lady. A queen's body belongs to the kingdom. Eleanor, and what of my heart? Does that belong to the kingdom too? Agnes remains silent. Int. Royal Chapel, morning. Eleanor kneels in prayer, alone except for Father Thomas, 60s, who observes from a distance. Father Thomas, approaching. The burden of royalty weighs heavy on young shoulders. Eleanor, Father, is it true that God demands such examinations? Father Thomas, the church requires a marriage be consummated with a virgin bride. Kings require certainty their heirs are legitimate. It is not God who demands, but men. Eleanor, is there no other way? Father Thomas, sighing. There are many methods. Some courts rely on bloodied sheets. Others demand examination. Some use trials by ordeal. Eleanor, trials? Father Thomas, drinking potions, walking on hot coals, practices from darker times. Be grateful King Richard is a more modern monarch. Eleanor looks far from grateful. Int. Royal Physician's Chambers, afternoon. Royal Physician Master Edmund, 50s, prepares various tools and herbs. A knock at the door. Master Edmund. Enter. Queen Mother Catherine enters. Queen Mother Catherine. Is all prepared for tomorrow's examination? Master Edmund. Yes, your Grace. Though I must again express my reservations. Queen Mother Catherine. Your reservations are noted and ignored. The last queen's infidelity nearly destroyed this kingdom. We will have certainty. Master Edmund. Such tests are not always reliable, your Grace. Many noble women ride horses, suffer accidents. Queen Mother Catherine. Cutting him off. Then you will employ all methods. The examination, the linen test, and the trial by bath. Master Edmund. The trial by bath. But your Grace, that is mere superstition. Queen Mother Catherine. It is tradition. And tradition is what holds this kingdom together. Int. Eleanor's chambers, night. Eleanor sits by the fire as Agnes brushes her hair. Eleanor. My cousin Matilda was sent home in disgrace after her examination. She swore she was untouched. Agnes. Some women are born different, my lady. Physicians don't always account for this. Eleanor. What happened to her? Agnes. She took her own life. The shame was too great. Eleanor turns, horrified. Eleanor. And if I fail such a test? Though I have done nothing wrong. Agnes. You will not fail, my lady. Eleanor. How can you be certain? Agnes. Because I have prepared for this. Listen carefully. Int. Examination chamber, morning. A sparsely decorated room with a table covered in white linen. Queen Mother Catherine stands with Master Edmund and midwife Martha. Eleanor enters, pale but composed. Queen Mother Catherine. Lady Eleanor. Today we confirm your purity before your wedding tomorrow. Eleanor sees a basin of water, herbs, and various instruments on a side table. Queen Mother Catherine. First, the examination. Then the trial by bath. Master Edmund will conduct the examination while Martha and I bear witness. Eleanor. I have nothing to hide, Your Grace. But might I request a moment of privacy with midwife Martha first? Queen Mother Catherine raises an eyebrow, but nods. Antechamber, moments later. Eleanor speaks urgently to Martha. Eleanor. My monthly courses have just begun. Is this a sign from God to delay? Martha looks surprised, then calculating. Martha. This changes matters. The examination must wait. Examination chamber, continuous. Martha whispers to Queen Mother Catherine, whose face hardens. Queen Mother Catherine. A convenient development. Very well. The examination will be delayed 3 days. But the trial by bath will proceed today. Castle courtyard later. A large wooden tub sits in the courtyard. Nobles and servants gather to watch. Eleanor is led out in a white gown. Court herald. Lady Eleanor of Westmere will now undergo the trial by bath to prove her purity before God and King. Eleanor looks terrified as Queen Mother Catherine approaches. Queen Mother Catherine. Quietly. The test is simple. You will be placed in the water. If you sink, you are pure. If you float, you are not. Eleanor. Whispering. But if I sink, how will I breathe? Queen Mother Catherine. Ropes will pull you up after a moment. Usually. Eleanor trembles as she's led to the tub. Courtyard, moments later. Eleanor stands in the tub of water. The crowd watches. King Richard appears on a balcony, observing. Court herald. Let the trial begin. Eleanor is gently pushed down into the water. She struggles not to panic, then forces herself to exhale all her air. She sinks like a stone. After a terrifying moment, ropes pull her up, sputtering and gasping. Queen Mother Catherine. The lady has passed the trial by bath. Wet and shivering, Eleanor looks up to see King Richard watching thoughtfully. Eleanor's chambers, evening. Eleanor sits wrapped in blankets by the fire. Agnes tends to her. Eleanor. I nearly drowned, proving something that should never have been questioned. Agnes. You survived, my lady. And you bought yourself time. A knock at the door. A royal page enters. Royal page. Lady Eleanor. King Richard requests your presence in the royal gardens. Castle gardens, night. Lit by torches, Eleanor approaches King Richard, who stands alone. King Richard. Lady Eleanor. You've recovered from today's ordeal? Eleanor. Yes, Your Majesty. King Richard. My mother is thorough in her dedication to tradition. Eleanor. She loves you and protects your interests, sire. King Richard. Studying her. You speak diplomatically. Tell me, do you believe these tests prove anything? Eleanor hesitates. Eleanor. I believe they prove a woman's willingness to endure humiliation for the sake of her future husband and kingdom. Richard looks surprised, then laughs. King Richard. Well said. My first wife underwent the same trials. She passed them all. She also bore another man's child and plunged this kingdom into civil war. Eleanor. I am not your first wife, sire. King Richard. No. You are different from what I expected. He studies her face in the torchlight. King Richard. There will be no further examinations, Lady Eleanor. I'll inform my mother and the physician. Eleanor. Surprised. Your Majesty? King Richard. I judge character more by words and actions than by ancient superstitions. And you have shown courage today. Eleanor's chambers, later that night. Eleanor sits with Agnes, stunned. Eleanor. He canceled the examinations. I don't understand. Agnes. Perhaps he saw something in you worth more than tradition. Eleanor. Or perhaps he simply doesn't care if I'm pure or not. Agnes. Either way, you're spared the indignity. Eleanor. But how many women aren't? How many have suffered these tests, failed them through no fault of their own, and been discarded? Agnes. Too many to count, my lady. Eleanor. If I am to be queen, perhaps things can change. Royal chapel, wedding day. The chapel is filled with nobles. Eleanor, in a magnificent gown, walks down the aisle toward King Richard. Queen Mother Catherine watches with a tight expression. Royal bedchamber, night. Eleanor sits nervously on the edge of the bed. King Richard enters and dismisses the attendants. King Richard, the nobles await proof of our consummation. The linens will be examined in the morning. Eleanor, another test, Your Majesty? King Richard, the final one, I promise. He sits beside her, surprisingly gentle. King Richard, I know you fear me. Perhaps all men. But I am not a monster, Eleanor. Eleanor, I don't fear you, sire. I fear becoming nothing more than a vessel for heirs. A body to be tested and used. Richard studies her, impressed by her candor. King Richard, my father said a wise king needs a wiser queen. Someone who speaks truth when others only flatter. He takes her hand. King Richard, I cannot promise love, Eleanor, but I can promise respect. And perhaps, in time, we might find something worthy between us. Int. Great Hall, 1 year later. Queen Eleanor, now visibly pregnant, presides over court beside King Richard. The court nobles bow as they pass. Midwife Martha approaches with a young noblewoman, 16, terrified and weeping. Martha, Your Majesties, Lady Cecily is to wed Lord Pembroke, but she fears the examination. She fell from a horse as a child. The noblewoman trembles. Queen Mother Catherine watches from nearby, frowning. Eleanor exchanges a look with King Richard, who nods slightly. Queen Eleanor, Lady Cecily, by royal decree, there will be no examination. The practice of testing noblewomen is hereby ended in this kingdom. Gasps from the court. Queen Mother Catherine looks furious. Queen Mother Catherine, this is outrageous. Tradition demands. King Richard, firmly. The crown demands otherwise, Mother. The Queen has spoken with my full authority. Eleanor takes the girl's hands. Queen Eleanor, no woman should be humiliated to prove her worth. Your character speaks louder than any test. The girl sobs with relief, kissing Eleanor's hands. Queen Mother Catherine, approaching. You would undo centuries of tradition? How can men be certain of their heirs? Queen Eleanor, by trusting the women they marry, Your Grace. As your son trusted me. She places a hand on her pregnant belly. Queen Eleanor, some traditions deserve to die so that dignity may live. King Richard takes her hand, pride evident in his expression.